You get off the bench to get a drink of water. You take the field on the bottom of the ninth, and the sun is beginning to set, but somehow it is still 90 degrees. Baseball requires logistics, is the most emotional sport, and is the most psychologically demanding. Today, we'll look over the physics that are involved in baseball, the mental game involved, and the road to the major leagues. Starting us off is the physics involved in baseball. Pitching has the most physics applied in any other sports. When pitching, the pitcher makes a downward motion with their arm, and the wake created by the ball makes an upward force, pushing the ball up. Pitching also has many other pitch grips, like the knuckleball and the curveball, which all have physics among it, by twisting and applying different pitch grips to the ball to make the ball move differently in the air. But what would be baseball without the hitter? In hitting, the back of the rubber to the front of the plate is 60 feet and 4 inches. And in major leagues, it takes an average pitch to get there between 1/2 to 1/3 of a second. And if you snap your fingers, that's how long the ball takes to get there. And that's how long it takes the average major league hitter to make their mind up on where the ball's going to be and if they need to swing or not. The fastest motion in any sport, is the rotation between the ulnar collateral ligament, or the UCL. It is 0.03 seconds and is the fastest movement in all sports. When hitting, if you hit the ball 0.07 seconds too late, it's a foul, and same goes if it's too early. When hitting, the ball touches the bat for 1/1000th of a second. Rounding first and heading to the second, we'll be going in road to the show. 1 out of 200 high school players will be drafted in the MLB. And seeing this statistic, you'll be thinking, that kind of disproves my point. But the 40-round MLB draft, 7% of these players will be chosen in the first round. These 7% of the players are the most elite of baseball players, but only 66% of them will consistently play in the MLB. And the road to the majors is harder than in any other sport because baseball is the second most global sport behind soccer. As you can see, there is the MLB, and then the LMB in Mexico, and then many other countries. So when you're a scout in America, you're not only competing with other Americans for spot on MLB teams, you're competing for spots with people from Australia, Mexico, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Japan, and so forth. Not only is it hard to get into the major leagues, it's even harder to stay in it. Consistency is what coaches are looking for in the major leagues, and if you make one mistake, you'll be moved back down to the minor leagues. People like Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani consistently play in the major leagues because they are freak athletes. Rounding second, coming to third, we'll be talking about the mental game. My favorite baseball quote is, "Baseball is 90% mental and the other half is physical," by Yogi Berra, who caught for the New York Yankees. This puts into perspective the mental game of baseball. According to OpenCommons.com, many coaches give their scouts a 130-question test talking about their drive, their coachability, leadership, aggression, responsibility, and their emotional control on the field. This helps them pick who they want to draft and who they need on their baseball team. The mental game plays such a big part in baseball because you always have to know where to go with the ball in certain plays. And to put this into perspective, if you're a pitcher pitching in a home game with upwards of tens of thousands to 100,000 people watching you at the field, and then another hundreds of thousands watching you on national television, and you give up a home run to a rival team, it is mentally destroying and can put the pitcher in a bind, if you will. And baseball is the most mental sport because unlike any others, it may, like other sports like basketball and football, may have plays, but baseball is probably the longest games. And the baseball has the longest season and the longest off season. In professional baseball, the standard season is 162 games, and then it goes into the postseason. Thank you. Today we talked about the physics included in baseball, the road to the major leagues, and the mental aspect of the game.